You know, how about if we put together all the best hows on a video? What about that for a great idea?
Oh, that would be brilliant. Because there's some really, really good ones, aren't
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
Most of them are mine.
No, mine.
Yours?
Yeah, but where would we start? We'd have to start with like a classic how trick.
Oh, yeah, well, yes, there's been a sort of recurring theme throughout
Yeah.
the past few series, hasn't there?
Get toppy, I mean.
Get toppy, yeah, that's
Yes,
right.
I had
And the
noticed.
one that I thought was particularly good was
Yeah.
the how do you make someone into a complete idiot? Now, I want you to follow my instructions to the letter. Close
Okay.
your eyes,
Yeah.
and I shall place a very cold coin on your forehead. Okay. Oh, yes, very cold. Okay, now shake your head, keeping your eyes closed.
No, not idiotic enough.
Okay, we'll try another one. Close your eyes again. Put the coin on. Press. You can feel that.
Okay.
Oh, very cold. Okay, try again.
Got a headache.
No, not
No,
idiotic
okay,
enough. Sorry.
okay. Right, we'll try it one more time.
Do concentrate, please, Gareth.
Okay. Now, shake that one off. This is going to work, this one. Go on, I can tell.
Yes.
No, go on. Go on, keep shaking.
Yes.
Come up.
Now he's being idiotic.
Not gonna come up.
And now, open your eyes and look in the mirror.
It's not there. Is it? Thank you very much indeed.
Yes, great. It's how you make somebody look a complete and utter idiot.
How can I send a picture down a telephone line? Real easy these days. That goes in there. Punch in the magic number. And start. And you can send pictures down the phone these days thanks to the invention of a rather wonderful machine called the fax. Actually, fax machines don't send pictures down the phone line. They send enough information to create an exact copy of the original message. There you go. There's my original message, and there is an exact copy of the message I sent. Now, how does it do this? Well, first of all, it breaks the information down into little bits and transmits those. If you still haven't got it, let me show you how with Carol. Can I borrow your bits?
You can certainly borrow my bits anytime.
OK. I'm going to
J.
send you a message.
OK.
This is my transmitting fax machine here. Now, I'm going to break down the bits of information into little blocks. And every time I tell you on, you mark one of those blocks of black there.
OK, that means on.
On, yeah, and off, you leave it clear.
OK.
OK, so you only have to do two things, on and off, real easy. Here we go, here we go. Starting with the top left-hand square.
Yes.
Off.
Off.
Next one, on.
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 Another on.
Another on.
Another on.
Lots of ons.
Off.
Off.
New line. Off.
Off.
On.
On.
Off.
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 New line. Off.
Off.
On.
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 Off.
Off.
Off. New line. Off.
Off.
On.
Another on. Oh, yes. On. Off.
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 New line. Off.
Off.
On.
On.
Off.
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 Off. Off. Off. Off.
And what
off,
letter do you have
off.
there?
Oh, you want me to read it now?
Yeah.
F.
F. An exact copy, slightly larger, of the F that I've got here. And that's how it works. It breaks down the information into little bits. In fact, by breaking the information down into little bits and transmitting them, that's how a fax machine can send pictures, messages, drawings, just about anything down a telephone line. That's how.
Good how, Toppy.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, how many times can you fold a single piece of paper in half? Fred?
Back to the baby hows. Very obvious, simple how. I would think at least 30.
30?
No, about
Gareth?
16 for a piece this big.
16. OK, let's start folding. In half, fold once.
Yeah.
Matter of
Gaz is
precision.
trying the triangular method.
I'm going
Fold
the square
twice.
method.
Come on,
Two.
come on, come on, twice. Yes, 3
Yes.
times.
Simply strength and precision.
Yes, 4 times, please.
Easy peasy.
Yes,
Yeah.
5 times,
5
please.
times.
yeah.
Easy.
6
times, please.
Yeah.
7 times, please. 8 times, please.
Can't do it,
9
Carol.
times, please.
Can't
I've got
do
six and a half.
Oh, that's just 6 times, is it?
Yes, but the answer to the how's obvious. You just need a bigger bit of paper.
And if I were to provide that big piece of paper?
Ad infinitum, dozens of folds.
The bigger the paper, the more the folds.
Exactly.
All right, then let's walk this way.
We will.
You see, it's all to do with the number of layers of paper that you make.
Perfect.
Right? Loads of it.
Loads of it. Now, you go in that corner, you go in that corner. With this enormous piece of paper, how many folds?
Dozens.
All right, let's
20,
go.
I reckon, Fred.
Prepare to be humiliated, Carol. Prepare to be embarrassed.
Boys
All
will
right.
show you how. First
One fold,
one.
2 layers of paper.
2.
2 folds, 4 layers of paper.
Good one. Yeah. You sure? That
Yeah.
way.
3 folds, 8 layers of paper.
Lovely.
Yes.
It's going terribly well.
4 folds, 16 layers of paper.
Lovely.
How
many folds is it then?
Yes, 32 layers of paper.
This way.
Lovely.
Oh,
How many is that?
64.
That's 5 folds. 5
folds, is that all?
Very
Yes,
good.
5 folds.
Is it that way? That way? We don't know how many that is.
6 folds.
One more,
Okay,
Dobby.
okay.
We get
okay.
another one.
Want another one?
It's only paper, Fred. Come on.
Can't do it.
Thank you, thank you. And if you would like to try that, with as big a piece of paper as you'd like, you'll find you get up to 9 folds. And that's how many times you can fold a piece of paper in half.
How do milkmen perform magic? They used to when I was a boy, and they still do now, because in our village where I live, there's a milkman called Bernie the Blue Top, and he's got one of these. And this is a magic milkman's wallet. Let me show you how it works. I need a customer. Good morning, madam.
Oh, good morning,
Your
sir.
milk bill for the week is £5.
All right, here's
Place it in
£5.
there. It's nice and loose, isn't it? Move it over like that, and it's gone behind the crisscross, isn't it?
That's very good.
Has it? Is
Yes.
it behind the crisscross?
Yes.
Or isn't it? No, it's not. It's on the other side. Put me another £5 in, could you?
Okay, that's for last week's milk.
That's for last week's milk. Let's see what happens. It goes on there. Put another £5 in, would
Okay,
you?
that's for next week.
That's for next week's milk. And there you are, it's on the other side. And it's simply a way of keeping the milkman's money safe. But it is magic. And the whole secret is in my little crisscrosses here, the taping. Let me show you how to make one. It's ever so easy. All you want is a couple of pieces of card, precisely as I've got here. And across the one card, the 2 crisscross tapes, which then go underneath the other card. With me? The other card has bits of paper which go across it and underneath the other one. You there?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Turn the whole lot over very carefully, like so. And all you then do is tape up all the edges that have come over. So you are left with something which looks like that on one side and that on the other. It is incredibly simple, and just to show you it works
And that's the same as how a milkman's wallet's made, yeah?
exactly.
Ah, now you know.
And that's how a milkman makes his magic wallet.
That was, yes, that was very good. Except we haven't seen that wallet since,
I've
Fred.
got rare moths in that wallet. I can't let them
You
out.
put your padlock on it, didn't you? But your hair,
Yeah.
it was so long, I'd forgotten just how long it was.
Well, it goes, it comes. I just wish it would grow back, you know?
We're almost so beastly to you, aren't we?
Oh, but I get my revenge sometimes, though, don't I? Do you remember I did one how, which was, how can I trick these guys every time? You willing to put money on this?
Yes, of course we are.
Of
10p
course we
then,
are.
in the
10p.
kitty, in the
10
centre.
pence in the centre.
OK, then I will trick you
Easy
quite
money.
successfully. You'll need the glass of water there,
Right.
OK. Now, all you have to do is copy everything I do
It's
exactly.
going to be so easy.
Yeah, ridiculous.
OK, ready?
Right.
Oh, great how it is.
That is horrible.
But I've swallowed mine.
Awful.
Tricked?
That is awful.
20p up, thank you very much indeed.
Yeah,
That's
try
right.
that
Chicken.
one. Can we have a better
Every
one,
time.
please?
I'll
Fred?
show you a good one. How can ice help you mend a burst pipe? Bit of a contradiction in terms, that, isn't it? Because it's ice that causes the problem in the first place. You know what happens? The pipe is unlagged, the water freezes, the ice expands, and it splits the pipe. yeah? But now take a look at my system over here. I've got a leak in this pipe here. I've got my swimming pool up the top there, thousands of gallons of water. How am I going to stop it? Well, normally, of course, you'd have to turn the whole system off, drain the whole system, and then replace the damaged bit of pipe. But that takes a long time. That's how it used to be until now. But now comes a very clever how. Because here, I've got a pipe that's full of water, and wrapped around it is a sleeve, just like that one there. Now, attached to it, I have this tube and a canister of liquid. I turn the canister on, the liquid comes out at great pressure, it changes into a gas, it expands like mad, it cools like billy-o, and can you see, it's cooled the water so much, it's freezing the water inside the pipe.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yep.
You see ice forming on the top?
Yeah, yeah.
All will be explained in just a moment. Now, here's one that I played with a bit earlier. Another pipe full of water, which I froze in exactly the same way. Let me take it out and show you the ice inside it. Do you see that?
Yeah.
The ice is there. Now, I'll see if I can get the ice out by dipping that pipe into some hot water and a swift wrap. And there it comes.
Wow, fantastic.
Now, how does all that work in relation to my leaking pipe here? Let me show you how. I get one of my sleeves that side of the burst and wrap it around there. The other sleeve, the other side of the burst, and wrap it around there. And then I shall freeze the water in exactly the same way as I have over there. Then get my hacksaw, cut out the bad bit of pipe, the split pipe, and replace it with a brand new piece of pipe. Then I'll take off my sleeves, the ice will thaw, the water will flow again, and the whole system is working as per normal. And that is how ice helps you to mend a burst pipe.
Now, how far does a silkworm travel, Fred?
I would not have thought very far. I mean, they're quite small, aren't they?
Yes, they are quite tiny. Well, I have some silkworms with me here. Now, if you look here, these are a matter of a few hours old. Can you see? Just a few millimetres long.
Minute.
Now, what they're fed on is these gorgeous mulberry leaves, and as they munch and guzzle, they get larger and larger. These, in this box, are about 16 days old. You can see a rapid expansion of the body there. Then they munch and munch and munch, still not travelling very far, just over a leaf or two, until they get to this size. Now, this happy chappy here is 40 days old.
And he's looking quite muscular.
He is. He's certainly very muscular indeed. Now, this is at the point at which something very interesting happens. Now, if you let go of that mulberry leaf, I can show you. Because it's at this stage in their life that they want to spin a cocoon. They find something very similar to this brush to attach themselves to. And once they've done that, they then start to spin their cocoon, these beautiful cocoons made of very fine silk thread. And it's during the 3 days in which they spin those cocoons that all their travelling is done. And do you know how far they travel?
In 3 days?
Well,
Not very far.
Not very far, you say. Well, if you unravel one of these beautiful cocoons, you can see this terribly fine silk thread. If you managed to unravel a whole one, you would get 5 kilometres of thread.
That little chap travels 5 kilometres in 3 days.
In 3 days.
5,000 metres.
5,000 metres, which is about the same as you would get in length from 50 cotton reels all put together.
All laid out end to end. Pass that here.
You want it to?
All that from one little fella.
One little worm.
Or girl?
Oh.
Now, the silk thread, of course, is then woven into cloth, and you can have beautiful items like this butterfly silk scarf, or this, because silk has been used for a number of years. This was made in China about 100 years ago and would have been worn by a government official, and you can see the beautiful patterns woven into the cloth. Silk, gorgeous texture, fantastic material to work with. And that's how you can tell how far a silkworm travels. 5,000 metres in just 3 days.
How can you practice the drums without making a noise? See, the trouble is, drums, even if you hit them really lightly, can make an awful lot of noise. That's great if you're playing, but not much fun if you're the person having to put up with someone else learning how to play. what's needed is a silent drum kit. Now, such a thing has indeed been invented by a lady called Victoria Barrett. And this is it. Listen. Doesn't sound like much, does it? But if you look inside this plastic pad here, you will see that inside there is a transducer. That's a transducer. And what it does is transfer the impact of my stick on the pad into an electrical signal. That electrical signal then is carried down a cable to this magic box of tricks here, which recreates the sound of an entire drum kit. All I have to do is put on my headphones, and in my ears I can hear an entire drum kit. For instance, hi-hat there, snare here, tom-toms, and a cymbal. And with the aid of this, I can practice drums to my heart's content without annoying anybody. Now, that's one way of practicing the drums without annoying anybody. But if you want to annoy everybody, all you have to do is unplug the headphones, turn on the amplifier, and you can make as much row as a full-size drum kit.
You love those musical hows, don't you?
You didn't like that one, did you? You're hardly musicians, though, used to, are you?
That's a little hurtful topic.
True, Freddie.
But there are some things we're good at.
Yeah, oh yes, we're very good at training things, you and I, aren't we? Animals particularly.
Yes.
Snakes, slugs, mice, frogs, horses.
Matchboxes.
Matchboxes.
Where would we be on how without matchboxes?
That was a marvellous how that was. How can I train a matchbox? Let me introduce you to Malcolm. Hello, Malcolm. Now, I've been training Malcolm for minutes now.
Really?
And
Carol,
yes, he has some...
That matchbox has got a headband on.
Yes, well, he's been training, hasn't he? You fools, anybody would know that. I've been training Malcolm to stop when somebody shouts stop. So if you'd like to join in with this little training session, all right, Malcolm, off you go.
Stop. 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 Stop.
Oh! Don't you think he's performing magnificently?
He certainly
yes,
is.
he is. And do you know why?
How does he do it?
I thought you'd want to know that. Well, if you open Malcolm up, you can see that I've threaded the string through one hole at this end, through another hole at this end, put a match across the bottom, and when I pull the string taut, that acts as a brake on Malcolm, and that's how he stops. Isn't he clever?
Years at university have really paid off.
I know. Got another one here. Would you like to try with this one?
Go on, Toppy.
All right. Try hard with this, all right?
Stop. 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 It's not working, Carol.
No, that's because this is Michelle, the French matchbox, and she doesn't understand English.
You've got to speak to him in French.
Yes, of course you do.
But of course. Arrêtez. Allez, arrêtez.
Arrêtez,
Allez.
Michelle! How marvellous. That is how you can train a matchbox.
How can a stick stop a row? Well, it can if it's a tally stick, and a tally stick is simply a very old form of accounting, a very old form of keeping a record of a debt. For this, I really need a debtor, someone who owes me money. Toppy, you owe me 35 pence. Can I have it, please?
Well, I haven't got it at the minute, Fred. Can I wait you a bit longer?
You want to still carry on owing it. OK, but I'd like a record, if you don't mind, of this transaction, because
Fine,
not
mate.
that I don't trust you, so I'm going to write this down. T for top, owes F for Fred, 35, 3 long, 3 for the tens, 5 little ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a big P. OK, that's my tally stick. What I do now is I split it in two, like that. You have one half, Toppy. I keep the other. When you're ready to pay me, bring me your half back with the money, and provided the two sides tally, then there is really no problem. On the other hand, if when I stick yours against mine, it doesn't quite tally up, then I'll know a little bit of jiggery-pokery has been going on.
You serious? This is my receipt.
That's your receipt.
But this isn't much use, surely. I mean, you can't go around
Well,
carrying great
you
big
say
sticks.
that in actual fact, but this used to be the main system of accounting and tax paying in this country. And I have here, borrowed from the Museum of London, where it's on show, an original tally stick that dates back to the year 1695. You can see the Latin writing on the front, and if I swivel it round slightly, you can see the edge along which it was cut. That's the splitting point. And you can see little grooves on it as well. Grooves here, small amounts of money, and at the other end down there, larger grooves for larger amounts of money, and that was an original tally stick. And as I say, this used to be the main system of accounting in this country all the way from the time of William the Conqueror right up until 1824. And if you owed taxes to the Treasury, they had one half of the tally stick and you had the other. Then they decided they'd stop all this and get much more modern, much more advanced. They'd burn all the tally sticks. Millions of them were kept in the House of Lords. They decided to burn them. Two chaps slung them all on a huge furnace, but they'd forgotten to clean the House of Lords chimneys. And the Houses of Parliament burnt down.
Oh, no.
But that's how a stick can stop a row, provided, of course, you've got the right bit of stick.
Fred, I can't help but notice that tally stick you got there, it's got loads of lines on it.
Yeah, this chap, he owes me £35 million.
Really?
Yeah.
You use that then?
I forgot to put his name on it. It's not you, Toppy, is it?
No, Fred, not me.
How can I disappear behind a sheet of glass? Well, watch this. Now, I have a light on me. If a light's faded up on Gareth, you can see a happy, smiling hello.
How you doing?
Hello. Lovely, Gareth. Now, how do we do this? Well, we do it quite simply with two lights and a sheet of glass. You are the other side of the glass to me. There's a light on me. If that light is faded down and the light on Gareth is faded up, then you can see half of me and half of Gareth. And eventually, as the light goes down on me, all you see is Gareth's reflection in the window.
Ta-da.
All right. Well, let's try this with Fred and a couple of torches. Now, you can try this at home using one person outside, one person inside, especially when it's dark in the evening. Now, I've got the light up on me. Now, Fred, if you'd like to put your torch on. Now you can see this half man, half beast effect. And then if I switch mine off, what do you see? Just Fred's reflection in the glass. Let's try it with all three of us. Very strange indeed. I don't think I suit glasses, do you?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I think it makes me look a lot better than usual anyway.
Now, this trick of raising lights up and down either side of a sheet of glass eventually became incorporated into a very famous theatrical performance known as Pepper's Ghost. And to demonstrate Pepper's Ghost in the How-To studio, I shall require two melodramatic, haunting theatrical assistants.
Well,
Gareth and
us, then.
Fred, you'll do. Because now you see me, and now you don't.
Hey, how'd you do that?
Clever, isn't it? Now I'm back. Let me show you how. Because in between you and I, there is a sheet of glass, and in that you see my reflection, because really, I was sitting on a table over here. The light was reflected into the sheet of glass. You saw me behind the sheet of glass over here, and so by raising lights up and down over there, I appeared and disappeared, and that is how I can disappear behind a sheet of glass. Fred, Gaz, where have you gone? Fred?
I like that how, because that is one you can do at home with a window and a torch. Have you ever tried that one?
Even I can do that one.
Good.
And that's saying something, isn't it?
You're not very technical, are you?
You're not technical at all,
I don't
Freddie.
think that's entirely fair.
Well, it is fair.
No, I mean, I think one of my house was the highest tech how we've ever done, a real engineering feat.
Engineering?
How can I lift 15 nails
Yeah.
with one nail? I smell a little 10p here.
Since when?
10p says I can't do it.
10 pence?
Yes.
Yes, all right then, there's
Thank
mine.
you.
I don't know why I ever bother betting. I'm never going
Thank
back.
you. Right, now
Right.
the how will be revealed. How to lift 15 with one. You need the basic principles of balance and leverage. Now, you see I have one nail across the bottom and the other 14 laid in
You said
different
15.
directions across the top. 15, I said, yes. So I place the 15th there,
Yes.
okay, across the top, and I lift very carefully, the whole lot, like so. Now, but wait a minute, I said 15 with one, and that's how. You
Very
lift 15
good.
nails with one nail. Thank you.
How can wobbly bike wheels be okay?
Of course they can't
They're
be
very
okay.
dangerous.
Incredibly dangerous.
Absolutely right. Simply the last thing that you want on a bike is a set of wobbly wheels.
So how
Really,
can
isn't
they
it?
be okay?
OK, let me take you somewhere. What if you were to take a perfectly circular white circle, right?
Yeah.
And you were to lay on it a smaller black ring, but instead of putting it in the middle, you put it off to one side like that, okay?
Yeah.
And then you were to put another one on, off to the other side up like that, off centre, and another one off centre at the bottom like that. Yeah.
What about it?
Well, what if you were then to punch a hole into the centre of that, right?
Yes.
And put a pencil through it.
Yes.
And then spin it. Watch what happens. You see this?
Oh, that
Sort
looks
of wobble.
Yes, it is wobble. But what's that got to do with bike wheels?
Exactly.
Okay, well, you know, a few years ago they started fitting aerodynamic aids to
Yes.
bikes. You know, they put wheel discs over the wheels so they go faster. Well, you know how you can get them in all kinds of designs these
That's
days?
nice.
Like fashion accessories for your
Oh,
bike. That's a
very
good one, that. Or this one in serious how colours. Isn't that good?
Yes.
Well, what if you were to take a pair of plain white ones and apply the eccentric rule like this by putting on black discs? Then what is in fact a perfectly circular wheel would look dynamically wobbly. And that is just about the only way that wobbly wheels can in fact be all right on a bike.
Now, how can something be boiling cold?
What do you mean boiling cold?
Boiling cold. Gareth, I'll need your help for this. Please, if you could come over. Now, in here we have water. We've all seen it boil into a gas, which is steam, and that's boiling.
It's boiling hot, Carol.
It is boiling hot, but this is boiling cold, because in here what we have is nitrogen, which is normally a gas, but it's been cooled down so much that it's become a liquid. And that, in fact, is at minus 196 degrees centigrade.
So it's boiling cold.
It's very cold indeed. So can you blow up a balloon for me and put your safety gear on? And I shall show you what use we have here. 'Cause this is a vat of liquid nitrogen. Lovely flower. Smelly, smelly, smelly.
Very fresh.
Lovely. Very fresh indeed. Let's dunk it into our vat. Cook it a little, just for a few seconds. No salt and pepper. Out it comes into my hand, and it is merely crushed.
Good Lord.
Because it's so cold. Isn't that fabulous?
Wow.
All right, then. Squash ball.
Squash ball,
You're
yeah.
good with squash balls, aren't you? Can you bounce it? Just to
Okay.
show that there's no cheat.
Real salt, I can feel it squashy here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fabulous. In it goes, squash ball into the vat. Meanwhile, we have a piece of very bendy metal. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Very bendy indeed.
It's not going to break that, is it, surely?
Well, let's have a go. Put it in, just for a matter of a few seconds. Waggle it around a little. Then out it comes into my hand. What's going to happen? This.
Wow!
Snaps. Isn't that fabulous? Now then, let's see how my cooking's going on. I trust you'll be coming round for dinner one day soon. Squash ball. Very, very cold squash ball. Smash it with the hammer, will you? Because I'm not strong enough.
It'll bounce, surely. You see that?
Yeah.
Wow!
Isn't that fabulous?
What about this balloon?
The balloon. OK. Now, the balloon full of air. Put it in here, and what happens is, because it's so cold, the air turns into a liquid. And this is what they do when they try to transport literally rooms full of gas. They turn it into a liquid, and then they can put it into tanks. Oh, right. To transport it from place to place. So that's a liquid in there. As it heats up, it turns back into a gas.
And
So
expands.
we have our balloon all over again. Isn't that fabulous?
Reflatable, that's superb, Carol.
Isn't that wonderful? And that is how something can be boiling cold.
Good, Hal. And here's another. How do wasps help you to read? And at the same time, how have they been partly responsible for the destruction of many of the world's forests? And at the same time as that, how have they revealed themselves to have a particularly nasty personal habit? 3 hows for the price of 1.
Tell us how.
Not bad value, is it? And the answer to all 3 lies in the way they build their nests. I've got 3 or 4 really dinky little wasps' nests here. One for you, Toppy. One for you, Carol.
It's very light, Fred.
It's very light. What else do you notice about it, Carol?
Let's sort of like paper, isn't it?
It's just like paper, and therein lies the answer to the how, because wasps have got rather peculiar eating habits. You see, they like to chew trees, and they ingest the fibres and eventually spit them out in a sort of pulp. And it's from that pulp that they make their nests. And this was first noticed in the 18th century by a Frenchman called Rayo Moore, and it gave him the idea of making paper out of wood pulp, because up until then, paper had been made out of rag. So there you are. Do you see? 3 for the price of 1. How do wasps help you to read? Because they led to the introduction of paper.
Yes.
How do they lead to the destruction of forests? Because men chopped down the trees to make the paper.
Yeah.
And how have they got a particularly nasty habit? Because they spit. 3 for the price of 1. Good value, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, how do you make a magic wand?
Well, how do you mean a magic wand?
Proper magic wand. I'll do some live magic with this one now. You watching?
on,
Yeah,
go
watch
on
this.
then.
Pull this one down. Watch this tassel here. You ready? Watch,
Yeah.
watch this.
Yeah, it's easy. You've got the
In
2
the
tubes
hand,
and
they're all
links.
connected in the hand.
Well, one piece of string going straight
Yes.
through.
Yeah, easy.
Not so. Fred,
Yeah?
pull that one down for me. Watch this tassel. You ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
Go.
Wahey!
Hey, good stuff. How'd you do
It's
it?
fantastic.
It's magic, and you can do it too. It's very easy. It's not really magic. It's an illusion, like most magic. What you're going to need is a hollow tube like this with holes at either end, so. You'll also need a tassel on a piece of string like this, very important, the tassel. You'll also need a fishing weight. And the way you put them all together looks rather like this. Here's a transparent version of the wand which demonstrates fairly well, I think, how it works. Now, the weight here is free to slide up and down this tube. As you lift it up, the weight falls down and it pulls the tassel up like that. Did you get that? I'll show you that again. Pull that down there and the weight falls down and pulls the tassel up. And the way to run the trick is that you don't have to make them small, you make big ones like this, real big ones. What you do is pull one of them down like that. When you tip this up, the weight falls down, and it seems as if by pulling this one, you've caused that one to go up. If you didn't get it down... What?
Choppy! You've never seen one like this before.
I haven't, Fred. They are there.
Look at the size
All right,
of that.
then. You ready? I'll pull this. You ready?
OK.
Ready? Go.
What about that?
Fantastic,
What a
Fred.
whopper.
Do you know, Fred, it's not fair, no matter how good my how is, you've always got to go one better, haven't you?
You could say I've always got to top it. Or these days, I've got to keep up with the Jones boy.
Oh, very good.
Very good, very good. But the things that you're most interested in, of course, are to do with money. We've noticed this, Fred, winning 10p's all over the place.
yes.
But there was a really good one, which I did, I think, which was, how can you turn 5 pence into 50 pence? 5 pence going in the matchbox, thus, close the matchbox, open the matchbox, what do you get? 50 pence.
Very nice.
Isn't that fantastic? And how do we do it? Well, we do it by getting the inside out of the matchbox. Put a hole in the bottom there. Then you wedge the 50 pence between the lid and the inside. And then when you put the 5 pence in, you slide the 5 pence out into your hand, close the lid, and out comes 50 pence.
Incredible.
Wonderful, marvellous.
Carol. If you give 50 pence from 5 pence,
Yeah.
does that mean you get £2 from 20p?
What do you reckon?
I've got to be right. I've got to be right.
Gareth's 20 pence in the matchbox. Close the matchbox, and out comes 10 pence. Oh, never mind. I'll buy you a cup of tea later.
How can you tell if your bath water is just right?
Well, you put your hand in. If it's hot, you go, ouch!
How
And if it's not, it's...
No, you run the hot and cold
Fashion.
at the same time. You balance
Yes.
it.
Pathetic, pathetic, pathetic. What you need is something brand new, something for the 90s. Factor X.
What's that then, Fred?
Join me in the fridge. Carol, a lovely pair of black shoes.
Yes.
Put one on your dainty little foot, would you?
Yes?
Fred, what is
And
Factor
I will
X?
show you Factor X. Are
Okay,
you
okay,
ready,
okay.
Carol?
I'm ready, I'm ready.
A black
I'm ready,
shoe,
I'm ready. A black
or
shoe
is it?
out of the
Watch
fridge, which
this.
is extremely cold.
And look, it changes colour.
Is that
Black
Factor X?
becomes blue, green, browns. Impressed? I
I'm
thought you
very
would be.
Is that
impressed.
Factor
Factor
X,
X,
Fred?
it is.
Yeah, well, what's
Toppy,
Factor-
don't feel left out of this item. Will you? Put on this black leather jacket.
Oh, yes, sir.
Put
Right,
on the
turn
black
the jacket.
shades.
Yes.
And turn your back.
Turn my back.
Turn your back.
This is Factor X.
Factor X
What
again.
is Factor X, Fred?
Wait, Toppy.
Fred?
Watch his back, everybody. Look.
What are you doing, Fred? What are you doing, Fred?
Turn in colour.
Fabulous.
Wait there,
Factor
Toppy. When I say
X.
turn round, and everybody watch his sunglasses. Are you ready, Toppy?
Yes, ready.
Turn now. Look, black glasses, and they become blue.
Are they
and
Factor
green.
X? What is
Blue,
Factor X?
dark blue.
Fred, what is Factor
Factor
X?
X.
Factor X.
I'll show you what Factor X is. Factor X is all in here. It's a cloth. And just like all the things I've shown you, it's impregnated. Look at it. With Factor X. What is it? It's called lycrotherm. It's something absolutely brand new. Liquid crystals that change colour according to the temperatures rise and fall. Brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah, very
Fred,
brilliant.
what's that got
what-
to do with your bath?
Oh, the bath.
Oh,
yes,
yes,
of course,
the
the
bath.
bath. Here's my bath, and here's some little ducks. My little ducks in the bottom. We'll put in some cold water first of all to see if it's too cold. Ah, what does it say? It says cool. It's too cool. Do you see? Cool. So it's too cold to get in, you see. It's been treated with lycrotherm.
That's
this.
hot water, is
This
it?
is
Hot
boiling
water.
hot water. Will it tell me it's hot? Will it tell me it's hot? Who'll tell me they're hot? He's saying hot.
Hot.
Can't you see? Hot. Got it?
got it
And if
now,
I
yes.
mix the two together, the hot and the cold, forgive me for a second, he'll say, okay. So that's how you can tell if your bath water is just right.
Brilliant.
Really, if you think about it, apart from hot air, water is featured heavily on this programme.
Yeah.
I tell you what, one how, well, I was convinced that we were all going to get absolutely soaked with water. Do you remember that? You did it.
Oh, yes.
How do you drop a bucket without spilling a drop?
So, one bucket, empty at the moment, fill it with water. Just so you can see there's no trick in the bucket itself.
And it's
all
real
right.
water.
Now I need a long piece of string attached to the handle and a bunch of keys and one pencil.
The keys aren't going to weigh the bucket, eh?
We never mentioned the keys. Or the...
Stand a little bit back from the table. Can you tell me what's going to happen now?
Yes, it's going to come flying off that pencil at a rate of knots and go all over the floor.
I would have said exactly the same thing, but that's
All
what
right
Fred
then.
said.
I'm about
And
to
we are 10p
demonstrate this
richer.
wonderful how. Here we go. Release the string. I thank you. Isn't that marvellous?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you make egg in toast?
No, Toppy, egg on toast. Standard fare round at Shea Top, egg on toast.
No, I haven't made a mistake. I'm talking about egg in toast, not egg on toast. And this is how you do it. Very simple. Piece of bread, lay it on a breadboard, then you take a cup and you lay the cup over the bread, push down, and then turn. Now, this is the clever bit. The twist there will remove the centre bit of bread, so, and it stays in there. This is the bread that we're interested in. And what do you do with it? Well, you pop it into a pan of hot fat or oil or butter, whatever it is you like to cook in. Of course, being very careful, you then crack an egg into that hole in the middle of the bread. Here it comes. Now, the trick is to let a little bit of the egg white in first, just to seal it round the edge, and then drop in the yolk without breaking it. How about that, huh? Add a little bit of flavour, a bit of pepper I rather like in mine. I want a bit of salt, being as we've got some here. Why not? The egg will cook most of the way through, so what you need to do is to remove the egg in bread, or egg in toast, I should say, from the pan very carefully and put it on a grill. Now then, here we go, very carefully, underneath, and straight onto the grill. Now, after a few minutes in the grill, it will be cooked on top as well as right the way through. And in the grand tradition of television cooking, here's one that I cooked earlier. Come here, come here. There. Now, it doesn't have to be just an O. You can make any shape you want, really. How about that lot? How's about that, then? OK, you guys, grubs up.
Marvellous culinary house.
Thank you very much. Fred, you take the W there,
Thank you
sir.
very much indeed.
Yes.
Thank you.
Carol, help yourself to that
Lots of pepper
O.
on this one.
Lovely, I'll get the H.
Absolutely
Lovely.
delightful.
Tuck in, chaps. And that's how you make not egg on, but egg in toast.
Right, chaps, pick up your
Right.
bits of paper. The how is this.
Yeah.
How do you tear off the two sides of the paper at precisely the same moment? Carol,
Well, you
any
just pull
ideas?
them. It's dead easy. Can
Go
I do
on,
it?
then. Years in university.
Needs a good grip. Ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good, Toppy.
Yeah,
Carol, have
okay,
another
okay,
try.
I'll try another go. And 1, 2, 3.
All that education,
No,
well
it's
spent,
more
wasn't
careful.
it? Toppy?
It's like that, Carol. It's like...
Well, that's what
No,
you'd expect
no,
from
right,
Toppy.
you're
One
gonna-
last go. No good at all. Toppy.
Nearly.
Show us how, Fred. One
I'll
last
show you
go.
how.
All right,
Hands
show
in exactly the same position. Mouth goes on the middle bit like that, and then you very gently pull on the side bits like that, and then the big moment, ta-da! And that's how you make someone look a totally incompetent idiot.
Good one. How can shooting ducks teach me how to play the piano?
Shooting ducks
What?
teach you how to play. Don't be
Preposterous, ridiculous.
It might seem like a ridiculous idea, but stay with me. Now, in order to play the piano, really, you need to be able to read music. Now, this is music. The position of the notes up and down here like that tells you which note to play, higher or lower. And the position of the notes, that's the tune, and the position of the notes along this way here tells you when to play the note and how long for, the rhythm of the piece. Tune and rhythm, the basics of music. Yeah?
Ducks? Shooting ducks?
Ducks. We'll get to the ducks in a moment. Now, I can be taught how to read music by this wonderful system here of a keyboard, computer and a TV screen. All I have to do is play a game, and the game involves Robo-Man. This is Robo-Man. Now, he walks along this platform at the top here until he encounters some musical notation along the bottom there. All I have to do is play any old note, but at the right time. And if I do that, Robo-Man carries on. Watch this. Here we go. If I get it wrong, Robo-Man falls off, so I'll start again. Here we go again. And if I get it right, Robo-Man carries on. All I have to do is play the rhythm of the piece. Get it? If I get it right, watch what happens.
Yes, very good, Toppy.
Thank you very much.
What about the shooting ducks?
OK, this is where the ducks come in. This is great. The ducks are laid out on the 5 lines of musical notation here like this. So all I have to do is play the tune, in this case, play the right notes, and then the ducks tell me which notes to play depending on their position on the 5 bars here. So, as the ducks go along, if I get the notes right, we shoot the ducks. Oops, that's too low. Ah, that's right. That's too high. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there. Yep, and after a while, you should start to recognise a piece of music if my playing is up to...
Yes, I recognise this.
And that's how shooting ducks can teach you how to play the piano.
How strong is a toilet roll?
I could crush one of those in my right hand.
Could you? Yes, well, of course, I'm not talking about the tissue. I'm talking about this magnificent cylindrical structure, which I have been studying for quite some time now. Of course, if you put it in the horizontal plane and apply pressure, then obviously it isn't strong
That's
at
what
all,
I
so
said,
we'll get
didn't
rid
I?
of that one. However, if you replace it with another magnificent cylindrical structure and press in the vertical plane, then you will find that it is exceptionally strong indeed. Of course, this is demonstrating the Vorderman principle of theoretical structures
4
and their
kilograms.
stresses, strains and strengths. And we have 4 kilograms of sugar, as you can see. I shall continue to add various
6.
bags. 6. Then we shall add some more, hopefully making it 8. 8. It's beginning to wobble a little. And 10
kilograms.
10,
Pretty good.
12.
Kilograms. It's gonna go.
Magnificent.
It's gonna go.
I see.
Very good,
and that's
Carol.
crushed it. Obviously demonstrating that these are exceptionally worthwhile implements. In fact, they are so worthwhile that one can make various objects to wear. In particular, this rather interesting pair of shoes, you see, I have 6 toilet rolls attached to them thus. Now, if I continue over here, I can now demonstrate the Vorderman principle of ground matter concerning cylindrical objects. You see, box bridges have nothing on these things, and I've been working in the Vorderman Corporation research laboratories to develop this into what we have here, which is a profound honeycomb structure. Boys, the board, please.
The board coming, miss.
The board.
Hey, up, Fred.
OK, it's a board
The
meeting.
board, yes, could you lay that across the structure?
OK.
Yeah.
Yes.
About there.
And just stand to one side now. Now we shall say exactly how strong a toilet roll is. I shall place myself in the centre. One person. Fred, would you like to accompany me here?
Is this safe?
2, 3 persons. Could we have a little assistance, please?
It's going very well. It's going to
We
take all of
have
us.
4.
4.
And 5. We have 6. And 7. 8. There was a big one coming.
Listen, if you were to pick your very favourite how, your own individual favourite.
Yeah.
I mean, we've covered the lot, haven't we, really? Every
Science.
subject, yes.
History.
Technology.
Yes.
Tricks. Tell you my
Animals.
favourite trick.
Yeah.
My favourite trick is a really simple how, and I got it from a comedian called Eric Morecambe. You know, he used to be part of Morecambe and Wise, the very man, the very glasses, Little Ern.
Little Ern.
He used to do a trick with a paper bag, which I turned into a how, which was, how do you catch nothing in a paper bag? Little Ern!
Yep.
This is an empty paper bag, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, nothing
Yes,
in there, right?
nothing in.
I'm going to take nothing out of the paper bag,
Yep.
throw it and catch it. Hut! Caught it. And again. Hut! Caught it.
How do you do that, Chopper?
I can tell you haven't worked it out, Fred. If you can click your fingers, you can do this how. You just click your finger whilst holding the bag. Look, and it looks like something's fallen in. Look. There, see? Easy.
Can we have a go at that?
You can
Come
do
on.
it.
Do it, do you think?
I think there's a slim chance you might be able to, Fred.
Yeah?
You, Carol, go on.
OK,
Right.
can you
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
me something?
All right, here we go, Fred. I'm taking nothing and I'm throwing it to you now. Hut!
Yep.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Can't go wrong. Throw it to
Hey,
Carol.
to me.
It's going to bounce, ready?
Yeah, go on.
Boing.
Oh, well, that was quick, wasn't it?
Now, my grand finale, I will attempt to catch 2 nothings in 2 paper bags. So it's a throw your nothings to me. You ready?
Okay.
You're going to wait for it, ready? OK, Carol, Fred, go. Boing. Boo-ha. Aha! That's how you catch nothing in a paper bag, and actually I shall put something in my paper bag for my 20p winnings. That's how.
Now, your hair changed, didn't it, then? Because you had it cut, because it was long before that.
Yes.
Been
Yeah.
all over the place, your hair, isn't it?
Well, it's a
Yeah.
bit like me then, isn't it? All over the
And
place.
yours has changed a lot as well.
Yeah, well, it doesn't change. It just goes up a bit and down a bit.
Yeah, mine's been constant, just changed the wig a couple of times.
I wonder why that is.
We found out what my favourite how
Yes.
was, that one.
Yes.
What's your favourite for a how?
Something
Fred?
I achieved almost every week. How can I achieve the impossible? I will show you how. A simple, brilliant, scientific how that you can do at home with permission, of course. Let me demonstrate what I intend to do. 2 glasses, both full of water, right?
Yeah?
One on top of the other, brim to brim.
Yeah.
Place them on a tray. Now, how can I raise the top glass without the water pouring
You
out?
can't. That's impossible.
That
it really
is
is impossible.
It's impossible.
Can't be done.
Well worth a little 10p wager there.
Definitely.
Easy money.
So if I can raise the top glass without the water coming out, I can keep the money, yes?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me show you how you do it.
You're going to get wet, Fred.
You'll know. You'll need another coin, and you slide that coin with incredible precision between the 2 glasses. So there is a gap between them, but the water does not come out.
How are you doing it?
How come? Surface tension. The molecules in the water pulling together, preventing that water getting out. Thousands of little molecules, you can't see them, pulling like bilio, stopping the water getting out. A successful how, I think. 10p all round, and that's how to achieve the impossible.
I'll tell you what's impossible on
What's
how.
impossible on how?
Working with you two.
You don't mean that.
You know I don't mean that.
Look, we've done your favourite how.
Yeah.
My favourite how. What's your favourite how,
Well,
Carl?
he says it's impossible working with us two. Sometimes it's difficult for me to know what you two are up to. So I particularly enjoyed this one, which was, how can I read your mind? Now, if the word I'm about to write on this piece of paper is exactly the same word which you two will write down at the end of this how, will I be reading your mind?
If you were correct, yes.
All right, is it worth money?
Yeah, you can't
In the
read
middle
my
of the
mind.
table,
10p.
along with the word I've written on the piece of paper. Now then, I want you both to really concentrate. Think of a number between 1 and 10.
1 and
Now
2.
multiply that number by 9.
Yeah.
You're left with a number with 2 digits. Add those 2 digits together.
Yeah.
Subtract 5, and you're left with 1 number.
Yeah.
Now then, as with ABC, we have 1, 2, 3. If the number is 1, write down A. If it's 2, write B. If it's 3, write C. If it's 4, write D. If
We
it's
got it.
5,
Yeah, we
write
got
E.
it. Yeah.
Write that letter down. Now, quickly, write a country beginning with that letter. Write it down. Write it down. Quickly, quickly, concentrate, concentrate, concentrate. Freddie, what's your country?
Denmark.
Gareth,
Denmark as well.
what have I written down on my piece of paper? Denmark. I have successfully read your minds.
That is unbelievable.
have the money.
How'd you do it?
How did I do it? Well, it's a bit of a number trick, this. Think of a number, let's say it's 3, multiply it by 9, that gives you 27. Add those two together, it will always give you 9. Therefore, when you take the 5 away, you will always have 4. Therefore, the letter will always be D. And how many other countries can you think of that begin with the letter D?
Now, how do you race raisins? A simple but highly effective and exciting tabletop racing game you can play at home. Now, you get a jug of lemonade. If you drop a raisin in it, it'll sink straight to the bottom because it's heavier than the lemonade. But gradually the bubbles in the lemonade will stick to the wrinkles in the raisin, making it less dense, and slowly but surely it climbs to the surface. Look at that, right on cue. Bubbles burst, and down it goes again. OK, we are now going to have a little race. If I could just get him out. Look at that. Beautifully well held. Lovely. Right, we each take a raisin. That's yours, Toppy. Toppy's Tornado. That's yours, Carol.
Oh, this is
Carol's
Turbo
Crawler.
Charge.
Carol's Crawler?
Yes, and this is mine, Dynamite Dynage. Now, when I give the signal, we drop them in there, and we're having a race up and down, and we are racing for the Raisin Racing Rosette. OK? Is that clear?
Yes. How many laps?
Now, it just depends on when I get in front. I'm now going to hand you over to the official race commentator. And here we are now at the start of the Raisin Racing Derby. In they go, and down to the bottom. It's a slow start. They're under starter's orders, and they are off. Carol's Crawler in the lead now. Does the first circuit nicely, and Toppy's Tornado right behind. Dynamite Dynage in third place. Carol's Crawler going back. Down they go again. Carol's Crawler in front marginally. Toppy's Tornado there. Dynamite Dynage. Coming up now for the final furlong. It looks like Dynamite Dynage. Tremendous surge on the inside. There he goes, and he's won it. A fantastic finish. Absolutely brilliant. Dynamite Dynage wins it. A marvellous, marvellous, exciting race. And that's how you race raisins.
How long is a foot, Fred?
12 inches.
Carol?
30 centimetres in the modern system.
Right.
Good.
Well, actually, there's more to it than that. I'm going to prove that your 2 feet measure the same.
Our
they
feet are the same.
don't.
Do you want to put some money on that?
10p in the kitty.
Good
Feet
idea.
measure
Now,
the same.
you'll need to measure your feet. I've prepared these foot rulers here.
Yes.
So, Fred, pass that
Thank
to
you.
Carol
Yes.
and measure your foot for me,
you.
please, if you would.
Measure our feet. Right,
Right,
there's mine.
Yeah.
11 inches.
Right, not 12 inches, 11,
Mine's,
Carol.
9 inches, 23 centimetres.
23 centimetres.
So our feet aren't the same. That's our money.
Not so fast. Just wait there a moment. You see, the idea of the foot was first introduced to this country by the Romans, and they defined the foot as being the length of the emperor's foot. And here's an emperor's sandal. That was a Roman foot. But what happened when that emperor died and he was replaced by a man with smaller feet? Well, the measurement for a foot would change. That's no good. Confusion every few years. So another system was employed in this country years ago, where in villages of England, men would be lined up heel to toe, 8 men, and the average length of their 8 feet would be worked out to give an average foot. Now, I've done this with the How production team, lined them up heel to toe. Fred, grab that end for me. Right, 8 people there, heel to toe. Now, to get the average feet, I need to fold it a few times.
That's
Let's see.
1.
Yeah, so that's 4 feet. That's 2 feet. And that's a foot.
That's a foot.
And what's the length of
The length
an average
of that.
foot in the How village is approximately 25 centimetres, short of the 30 of a standard. No, well, you see, there was problems with that system too. So eventually it was decided to give the foot a numbered measurement, to call it 12 inches, and there could be no argument about the length of a foot then. 12 inches, 30 centimetres.
Yeah, but
Lovely.
you said that
Our feet are the
measure
same. And they're not, so we'll have the money.
Not so fast, Fred. Feet on the table, OK? You want to try something?
Feet on the table?
Yeah,
Feet on
just
the
one.
table.
Take your heel of your foot and stick it into your inner elbow there, like that, OK? You will see that my big toe actually finishes right where my wrist starts, and that line of my wrist. Now,
Yeah.
Fred, where does your big toe finish?
My big toe also finishes by my wrist.
The same as me, Carol.
Yes, so does mine. It finishes at my wrist.
The same as me, and it's the same for you guys at home too. The same. How long is a foot? Well, it's exactly the same as that distance from there to there. That's how long a foot is.
How did a stick save an army? A how that goes back 2,400 years. Come with me to ancient Greece, and there, 400 years before the birth of Christ, the Spartans down here were fighting a war with the invading Persians up here. And often they needed to get messages from Spartan HQ down here to their commanders on the front line. But of course there were nasty Persian spies trying to intercept those messages. So the Spartans had to invent the world's first ever secret coding machine, the first ever cipher, and that was it.
Fred, that's not a cipher, that's just a stick, a broom handle or something.
Oh, honestly,
It is a
Fred.
stick, it is a handle, but it's a very clever one because it's called a skitali, and how it works is this, you see. What they used to do was wrap a strip of leather thong around their stick or skitali and write the message carefully on it. But as well as the message, they would also write on the tape, because you can make one of these yourself, they'd write on the tape a completely meaningless jumble of other letters, so that if this particular tape got into the enemy hands, the hands of a spy, it would mean nothing, because it's just a hopeless jumble of letters, doesn't mean a thing. Then the generals would have to get someone totally unimportant, a real oik, to deliver this to the front line. Private Jones, come here, you nasty, horrible little man.
Sir?
Deliver this very secret message to Commander Vorderman on the front line, but do not read it.
Won't read it. Secret message, sir.
Off you go, you nasty, horrible little man. But even if Jones did read it, and even if he was a spy, it doesn't really matter, because he couldn't understand it anyway.
Commander Vorderman, an incredibly secret message for you. I've read it, I can't understand a thing.
Thank you, Private Jones. You are dismissed immediately.
Off would go Private Jones. Meanwhile, Commander Vorderman would also have a stick, a skitali. It had to be of exactly the same diameter as the one I've got. She would wrap the thong or the tape around her stick, around her skitali. She would see all those meaningless letters, but of course, if she tipped the skitali towards her, there on the top line was my secret message. What is it, Carol?
Attack at dawn.
And that's how a stick saved an army.
You know, Freddie, that was quite an intellectual, historical house.
Do you know, seriously, I love those historical hows, probably because I was there when most of them happened. But I really love those.
Talking of history,
Yes.
yeah, of all the hows we've ever done,
Yes.
right, here's a piece of how history. Which how have we had to record over and over and over and over again until somebody finally got it right?
You don't mean...
I do.
How can you
Yes.
join two paper clips together without touching them? Oh, no. Impossible, they say. 10 P's in the middle.
Yeah.
Here we are.
2 paper clips and a piece of paper.
You didn't say anything about a piece of paper,
You
Fred.
never asked me. 2 paper clips, they are not joined together, are they?
No.
I'm not touching them, am I?
No.
Watch very carefully. Now they are joined together. How did I do that?
Yes,
Let
how
me
did you do
show you how, using a bigger bit of paper and a couple of larger paper clips. Fold your sheet of paper in a sort of S shape, a squiggly little shape. 1 paper clip stick between the first 2 folds of the paper.
Yeah.
2nd paper clip over the next 2 folds of the paper there. Okay?
Yeah.
And what happens is, when you pull the paper, at the edges, the clips are forced into each other. Voila. That's how you join 2 paper clips without touching them, and that's how you win yourself 20p.
How can I ride my bike over a bed of nails?
You can't do that. You'll burst your tyres. You'll get halfway across and it'll be...
Well, I just happen to have a bed of nails with me. And just to prove to you exactly how sharp these nails are, I shall drop an apple onto them. There we are, sharp nails.
Yeah, very sharp.
And over here, I have my bicycle. Just put the helmet on, a little bit of safety, and I will proceed to ride this bicycle over
It's not going to
bed
work.
of nails.
It isn't going to work.
It is.
It isn't.
It is. Just watch.
Wait, just listen to this, Fred. Bang, listen. Hey!
Thank
How did you do
very
that?
much indeed.
How do you do that?
Well, it's because I have some very special bicycle tyres. Now, normally, bicycle tyres are made like this. They have a rubber outer case and an inner tube which is blown up with air. And exactly as you said, Gareth, the nail would go through that, burst the inner tube, an absolute disaster. But I have solid tyres on my bicycle. This is a piece of one of these tyres. Now, these are made from microcellular polyurethane.
What's that?
It's plastic full of bubbles, basically. And the nail doesn't go through the tyre and burst anything. It does actually pierce the tyre, but nothing happens. So it makes it extremely safe. And with these, you can now do away with the old bicycle pump. You can do away with the puncture repair kit. They last 4 times as long as a normal tyre. But eventually, when they wear out, you can recycle them. Here is a tyre I rode earlier, made into pellets, and it will be made into another bicycle
That's
tyre.
a good idea.
It's clever. Do it again. Show us how.
I shall proceed to show you how I can ride over a bed of nails.
What's the studio character?
It's very dangerous, this. Here we go.
Go on.
Ooh.
Brilliant.
I thank you.
How old is an Easter egg? Well, the idea of giving Easter eggs as sweets goes back only as far as Victorian times, when people used to give each other marzipan eggs. Before that, though, they'd give each other real eggs, dyed in a variety of colours, known as pace eggs. These are they. They're rather beautiful, aren't
They are absolutely beautiful.
But how can you make a pace egg? I can show you how, because it's delightfully simple and very, very effective. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? Get yourself an ordinary egg and wrap around that the skin of an onion. OK? You follow
Any
this?
onion?
Any onion will do. Stick a rubber band around that, or maybe even 2, to hold the whole thing in place. Get hold of one of your mum's old stockings and snip off the foot, getting permission first, of course. Drop the egg inside there, like that. Then knot the whole thing in place, going well so far, isn't it?
Beautifully.
Even Toppy can understand this. And then dip it in a pan of boiling water. It is boiling water, so do be careful. Leave it in there for at least 10 minutes and be careful when you take it out, because it'll be hot. When you do take it out, snip it off and then get the whole thing out, and you may be delightfully surprised by what you find inside. Look at that. A lovely marbled effect. Dry it off, rub a bit of cooking oil on it to make it all shiny, and you will be left with a lovely pace egg that looks like that. And if you want different colours, then use food colourings and so on.
A sheer masterpiece.
Yes, and that's how you make a pace egg. Not bad egg.
That's not
Yes,
the how, though.
but well, the how was, how old is an Easter egg?
Yes, I don't need telling that. Well, in fact, Easter eggs and giving them at springtime festivals goes back a long, long time. In China, they were giving each other eggs painted scarlet as far back as 900 BC. That is 2,892 years ago, and that is how old an Easter egg is.
Do you know, I think you did very well with those pace eggs, Fred.
You did, Fred.
Yeah.
you say so?
I mean, usually you mess up those make and do hows, don't you?
Thank you, Toppy.
Yeah, it was quite beautiful, that one, I have
Thank
to
you.
say. Yes,
Thank you.
and historical.
Yes.
Yes, as you are.
Some of our happiest moments, though, have been getting him, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Do you remember?
Yes.
How can you make your mark?
Oh, lovely.
How can you make your mark instantly and dramatically on those around you? Let me show you how. Now, for this experiment, I need someone totally uncoordinated, fairly slow of wit, a bit of a dolt. Toppy. Ah, the very
Somehow
man.
I knew,
want to test your coordination. There's a piece of paper with a cross on it. There is a 10p piece. Take the 10p piece between the thumb and forefinger of the left hand, shut your eyes, roll it down your forehead, down your nose, across your mouth, down your chin.
What, like that?
Try and get it, yes, try and get it on the cross, if you
On
can.
the cross?
On the cross. Have a good go.
There.
Quite good, that was more coordinated than I possibly thought. I've just made a little mark there so you can see clearly where it was. Have another go. OK, shut your eyes. Down your forehead, down your nose. There's a good boy. That's it, working ever so well. Down your chin, have another try.
Oh, I opened my eyes, didn't I?
Oh, never mind. Doesn't really matter, Toppy. We can excuse little things like that. And I'll just make another little mark there so we know exactly where it is and have one more go.
And I'm aiming for the centre.
You're aiming for the centre of that cross. This is working jolly well. Lovely. Have another go. There's a good boy.
There, that's got to be in the
Not
centre.
too bad, but there we are. I think I've made the point. That's how you make your mark. I've really made my mark on you, haven't I? I don't think you quite understand yet. Let me show you. There we are. Have a look in that mirror.
Oh, dear, dear,
All you
dear,
do
dear.
is, when they put the coin on the piece of paper, rub it round pretty strong with a pencil. It goes straight on the fool's face. That's how you make your mark. Carol.
Very good. Now, how does virtual reality work?
Sort of computer game.
Yeah, you're talking about the 3D computer game where you wear a helmet and it generates a completely...
But how does it work?
I don't know how.
Well, you're quite right. It is a three-dimensional computer game, as opposed to 2 dimensions, which you see on a normal flat television screen. But how does it work? Well, let's do this experiment. Take a piece of paper, roll it into a cylinder, put that cylinder up to one eye, and then put your hand against the piece of paper, but keep both eyes open. Now, what do you see?
You can see a hole straight through the middle
Yeah,
hand.
Carol, I can see you right through my hand. Well, virtually.
Yes, you have a virtual image, because that's not the reality of it at all. And what the brain is doing is it's taking an image from one eye, taking another image from another eye, and putting the two together to give you a 3-dimensional virtual image.
Yeah, but what has this got to do with a computer game?
Well, walk this way, Freddie. I
Yeah?
have another experiment to conduct. I want you to pop yourself inside this virtual reality game.
Am I going on this?
You are. It's
Am
great,
I?
yes.
Is this wise?
Yes, I'm sure it is. Now, put the helmet on.
Helmet on.
Yep.
Okie dokie.
And then you want to put on the backpack, which will loop
Backpack.
round, yes, loop round your waist.
Right.
And in that backpack, there's a
Come in.
handgun. If you can get that out. Now, there are sensors inside the helmet and the handgun, so the computer knows exactly where Fred is looking and reaching at any time. Now, the computer holds within its database all the information about the virtual world. It knows what's there, what Fred is fighting with, where he's looking, where he's reaching. And by putting all that information together, it can feed virtual images to Fred. Now, this is what Fred is seeing. We're only seeing it in 2 dimensions because it's on a flat television screen. Now, the computer feeds through to the left eye screen a certain image, and then it's feeding through a slightly offset image to the right eye screen. And the brain takes those 2 images and combines them, just like it did with the hand and the piece of rolled up paper, to give a virtual 3-dimensional image. So what's it like, Fred?
Well, it's quite extraordinary. I'm actually there. It's not playing. I'm actually in there. And I'm going to smash this door open. Can you hear me hitting it? I'm in there. Now. And I can hear creepy things, and there's some stairs there to my right. And I'm going up these stairs, and there's a funny little man at the top, and I don't think he's friendly, and I'm going to hit him with my sword. Get off! You get off! Got him. Can I get out now?
Of course you can, while you're still alive, Fred. And that's how virtual reality works.
They use virtual reality for games and things now. What's going to happen in the future?
Well, potentially, of course, you could go for a holiday in the Bahamas from the comfort of your own armchair. Or what's happening at the moment is car designers are feeding information into a computer from all parts of the globe, and the designers can then drive round in a virtual world without ever having to build a prototype.
Wow.
So that is how virtual reality works with the aid of a piece of paper and, of course, your hand.
How can you eat a stained glass window?
You can't possibly eat a stained glass window. It is extremely dangerous and not advisable.
You can eat a stained glass window. It's just that you cut yourself to ribbons.
No,
really.
you must
Do you mind
not
if I start? This is a brilliant culinary howl involving a fair amount of skill. Therefore, I am obviously the man for it. You will need some pastry, OK? There's a degree of skill in doing this, as you well know.
What, rolling it?
Absolutely. It's got to be done nice and precise.
Very good, that.
Having got your pastry, you then need to cut your shape, the desired shape of your window, out of the pastry. Now, because I can't hang around here, I'm clearly going for a fairly simple kind of shape.
An arch shape.
OK, yes. Get rid of that, because that is no longer required. And in here, you will cut out the shapes of the sort of windows you want. Fairly artistic? Yes.
Yeah, but it's hardly stained glass, Fred.
Not yet, Toppy, not yet. Here's one I prepared a little earlier, slightly more artistic than the one I was just doing. OK?
A lot better.
That's
what
the
about
shape.
the windows?
What about the stained
Yes.
glass? To make your stained glass windows, you will need some boiled sweets.
What do you mean, boils? How?
You also need a hammer.
Ah.
Smash them up. Smashed boiled sweets equals stained glass windows.
How?
Get your little palette and your little bowls and put your boiled broken sweets into the shapes, wherever you want them, different colours, a little bit of yellow and orange in that window there, a nice lime colour perhaps in the centre.
These are
bit
all
of
boiled
white.
sweets,
These
are
are
they?
all boiled sweets.
That looks very pretty.
A bit of pink, and so on and so on, OK? Until it's now time for the really exciting bit, because you take your stained glass window and put it in the oven, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, for 20 minutes, OK? In it goes, and out comes rather a beautiful thing, like that. The sweets have melted, the pastry has cooked. Are you still following?
I am, yes.
Right.
But the thing about stained glass windows
Yes.
is
Yes.
that they are absolutely fantastic when the sun is streaming through them.
Yes,
They
they
are
are.
so beautiful.
Yes, they are, and I can show you all that. And also the beautiful shapes that you can make. There you are. What about that? Not only do they look good, they also taste good. And that is how you can eat a stained glass window.
Sut ydych chi'n siarad
What are you
Cymraeg?
talking about?
How do you speak Welsh?
Dwi'n siarad Cymraeg a dipyn bach, Gareth.
Oh, da iawn, Carol. Ti'n siarad Cymraeg, wrth gwrs. Yeah.
That's all very well, because she's one of them. She is Welsh.
Yeah.
I'm not Welsh. I can't speak Welsh.
Don't worry, Fred. I can teach you how to speak Welsh.
Could you?
Yeah. But first, let us discuss the complexities of the English language, a very tricky language to read. Now, Fred, you're English. Can you read that word for me, please?
Slough.
Slough. All right. So, how do you say that?
Tough.
Yeah, well, why don't you say that? Towel. Let's try another one. Surely you'd expect tough to be written like that. But no, it isn't. OK, how do you pronounce that?
That's slough.
Yeah, but you don't spell slough like that. You spell it like that, don't you? Which is the same as slough. It's just far too complicated. Now, Welsh is slightly less complicated. If you can read baby language, read phonetics, you can read Welsh. Because the Welsh alphabet goes A, B, C, H,
Ah.
D.
What
yeah?
about the two L's, the double L's?
All right, double L is one letter in Welsh, and this is how you say it. You put your tongue to the roof of your mouth, and you blow out sideways. It's the sound of a snake with a lisp, perhaps. It goes like this. Try it, Fred. Perfect. OK, let's try and read some Welsh. Now, remember, it's phonetics. And so phonetically, the letter W is said ooh. So what have we got here? Oosh. Ooh.
Whoosh.
Very good,
Whoosh.
very good, very good. OK, let's try it with another letter in front as well. A P.
P.
P. Ooh. Push. Push. Very good, very good. Freddie,
No, we're not, you see, because you're giving me all the kids' stuff. But, I mean, Welsh is full of long words, isn't it? You know?
you shouldn't be afraid of the long words.
No?
Words like this, you mean? All you have to do with them is break them down into smaller bits, into their syllables. For instance, that says llan. Quite right.
Llan.
And that says...
Ta.
Yeah, and that says...
Cilio.
So all in one, Fred?
Cilio.
Perfect. There's only one thing to do now, you know.
What's that?
Take him to Wales. Come
Oh,
with me.
yes. Come on.
You see, in Wales, we've got this town with an enormously long name.
I've heard of that.
And on the railway station of that town is an enormously long sign.
Yeah.
And we're going to teach you how to pronounce that town, OK?
Me?
Yeah. Carol, here we go. Ready?
This is what it's like.
Llanfair, Pwllgwyn, Gillgo, Gerwch, Llandrobwys, Llantysilio, Goch.
Great, lads. Great.
No, Fred, come here, don't be afraid. Carol, can you help? Can you flip the
course
words
I
over?
can.
You see, what I'm going to do is break this big long word down for you, Fred, into lots of little bits of words.
Little bits of words.
Yeah, and teach you how to say each of those bits of the words, and then you should be able to say the whole word.
And we do this together.
No, Fred, you'll do it on your own. I'll help you, though.
You'll
I'll
help
you.
me?
Yeah, we can manage it. OK.
OK.
Yeah, you ready, Carol? Have you got there yet?
I'm ready.
Down, very good.
OK.
Right. OK, we'll start with the first one. You've seen that before?
Easy peasy, Toppy. Llan.
Llan, very good, Fred, very good.
Fair.
No, Vair.
Vair.
Right.
Vair.
Try that one. Puff. Very good, Fred. Puff. Keep coming, Fred.
Gwyn.
Gwyn, very good, Fred.
Gwyn.
Yeah. Try that one.
Gill.
No, it's double L.
Gill.
Gish. Very good,
Gish.
Fred. Yeah.
Gish.
This one.
Goggary.
Go get it!
Go get it,
Go,
yes.
Fred, try that one.
Quirn.
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 Quirn, yes, it helps with the hand. Try that one.
Drubble.
Drubbush. Double L.
Drubbush.
Another double L, you've seen it before. Sand. Hey, how about that one?
Tessilio.
Tessilio. Yeah, and that one?
Go-go.
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 And the last one?
Gawk.
Go!
Yay! That's it
Fred.
then. Lovely. See you later.
No, Fred, come here. Carol, can you flip them all over again
course I
for us?
can.
You see, Fred, now that you've done it bit by bit by bit by bit, I reckon you should be able to do the whole thing in one go.
Together.
No, you'll do it on your own. I'll be here helping, don't worry. You can actually be the station master at this town. In fact, Fred, look, there's your station master's hat.
Yes.
There's your station master's megaphone.
Yes.
And, here comes the train. Good luck, Fred.
Train's coming.
You can do it. Do the announcements.
The train now arriving at platform 18 is the 1508 from Cardiff, calling at Llanfair, Gwyn, Gil, Gogari, Rilla, Drywil, Llan, Tessilio, Go!
Fred Dyer! And that's how you speak well.
Aye.
And that's
Sit and Ruan.
Sit and roll.
which is how.
Where else is it stopping?
Birmingham.